far. This obviously is reminiscent of that hype video, the much-discussed hype video the Cowboys had recently that didn't include Dak. So, Dan Graziano, we just sort of set that as the baseline beginning of the conversation. What is the latest as far as Russell Wilson in Seattle?
Yeah, checking in with as recently as yesterday with people in Seattle, nothing's changed on their end. They're still proceeding as if he's going to be their quarterback. They're not interested in trading him, and they don't necessarily think it has or will reach a point where he will force their hand. This is not a Deshaun Watson, Houston Texans situation at this point. So it seems like much ado about nothing, all letters notwithstanding. I can't say that everything is perfect or that there's no chance anything will happen this offseason, but I think the strong likelihood is that Russell Wilson is the Seahawks quarterback in 2021.
The three remaining teams, for what it's worth, from the list that the agent gave to Shefty that he'd be willing to be traded to are the Bears, the Raiders, and the Saints. David Pollack, you're watching all this go on. What is your take on the Seahawks right now and Russell Wilson?
It feels really petty, doesn't it? Like, it's interesting. It's very soft right now. Like, it's, hey, my offensive line isn't that good. I want to open it up. And then, we're not going to talk about you in this video. It just feels like it's going to end poorly. We've seen Russell Wilson be the consummate Seahawk and, be the guy that stands in front of everybody, be a great leader, make play after play after play. And now it seems like it's little shots back and forth between them and ownership. And it appears like he's not happy. He's got a fiance, but he's looking at other girls really, really intently. And I think that now it's something's going to happen. I know that the money right now probably won't work for it to happen this year, but it doesn't feel like it did before all this started, where I knew Russell Wilson, like, this dude's a Seahawk and he's all in and he's won a Super Bowl and he loves the Seahawks, go Hawks every interview. Now it feels like, man, I don't really care for them anymore and the love's kind of gone.
Yeah, I agree with that. And so, Booger, let me come to you. You send out a letter to your season ticket holders. It mentions all these other players. It doesn't mention Russell Wilson. We don't know what the intent of that is, but it certainly under these circumstances feels worthy at least of mentioning in the discussion. How big a deal do you make of that?
Greeny, I don't make a huge deal of it. I think that there's definitely some disingenuous feelings between both sides. I think Russell has let those be known. I think Pete Carroll and his side have got to figure out how much they want Russell being involved going forward. And to me, this is an easy win. Also, Green, I'm old enough to remember when I was on this show and there was a Cowboy hype video that didn't have Dak in it, and we all made a huge deal out of it. And here we are, $160 million later. Everything is kumbaya. So let's not blow this out of proportion. It was a single letter. Everyone in the Great Northwest knows that Russell Wilson is the face of the franchise. So I wouldn't put too much stock in the letter. Now, if they make a hype video, stop the presses. But the letter, I wouldn't go that far.
Let me give you a different way of looking at this thing here. And Dominique brought this up yesterday, I think, and it was an interesting one, David Pollack, that maybe on some level, Russell Wilson feels as though he was skipped. Like, we went from the Brady, Peyton Manning era, and we went right to the Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson era. And Russell Wilson is saying, wait a minute, I was supposed to be the face of the league and the best player in the sport, and because of the team I play on and because of the style of offense that our team believes in, I'm not capable of being that guy when I should be that guy. It's an interesting way of looking at it, and it's not an unreasonable way to feel if you're a guy like Russell Wilson. David Pollack, what do you think?
No, I don't disagree with that at all. And I think the team you play for, more importantly, like, listen, how do we get to this point in Russell Wilson's career and we haven't had the debate of whether he's an MVP? He plays for the Seahawks. Right? I mean, that's been part of it. He's not in a wide open offense. Last year, you saw it a little bit, and then it kind of got a little bit tough, and they said, no, we don't trust you. We're going to bring it back in. So I think that, Russell Wilson should feel that way. But I tell you what, if you watch Russell Wilson for a whole game and you watch what he can do, there's very few people on the planet that can do it. So if he went somewhere else and they opened it up, good and well he'd have a ton of success. So I get where Nick's coming from with that, and I get it because West Coast with the Seahawks and the offense that he's been in. I mean, I think you kind of feel bad for him. The dude should have won an MVP at this point in his career.
Yeah, and I will just say this, Booger. I mean, just to push back on you, I only have a second here. But on that Indianapolis Colts team you won a Super Bowl with, they would under no circumstances have sent a letter to their season ticket holders that didn't mention Peyton Manning, right? There are no circumstances in which that would happen, right?
Yeah, Greeny, I think you make a good point there, but that's also yonder years ago. Like, this is a new age now. They're trying to promote some of the other players. I'm not going to make that big of a deal out of the whole letter. By the way, I mean, Russell Wilson in Seattle may have a new contract coming up pretty soon, the way Dak and the Cowboys did. Who knows?
We'll see. I'm going to make a big deal of it because nothing else. I understand having that ego. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.